It's noon here in Ventnor City, New Jersey, and our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. And this is news that you can use from CarEdge for Thursday, June 20th, the first day of summer and the longest daylight day of the year, with your hosts, Ray and Zach. How are you today, handsome?
I am doing well, Pops. I did not know that today was the longest daylight day of the year. We have a sponsor for today's show, Delete Me. Check out the link at the top of the description. We will get to our message from our sponsor shortly. And a friendly reminder, folks, that CarEdge.com is the company that my dad and I started 4 years ago. If we can help you with anything auto, that is our plan. Dad, your car is spying on you and telling your insurance company. This is a story we've covered in the past, and we have a bit of an update. I'll pull it up on the screen. It was just a couple of weeks ago, maybe 2 months or so now, that General Motors was caught collecting an immense amount of drivers' data, passing that along to insurance companies, and lo and behold, your insurance rates were going through the roof. We ended up having some legal action taken, and supposedly General Motors has stopped. Dad, I dug a little bit deeper. Mozilla. You mostly know Mozilla because they're the browser company. Well, they're also big on privacy, and they analyzed 25 different automakers, Dad, and most, 84% of them, share and sell your data to someone. That could be the government, that could be law enforcement, insurance companies. They are passing that information on to others. And most of them, 92% of them, give you no way to control this information. You drive your car, they are tracking you 24/7 and selling and sharing that data. Dad, when I dug into this, every single automaker that Mozilla reviewed, Rivian, BMW, Subaru, Fiat, Jeep, Chrysler, the entire list, Toyota on there, Lexus on there, the entire list received the worst ratings from Mozilla. Okay, these cars, they are tracking you. Why am I bringing that up, Dad? Because the auto industry is actually at a standstill today because of a cyber attack.
Yes.
CDK Global shuts down its DMS again after overnight cyber attack. Your car is tracking you. The software that the industry uses is cyber attacked and down. Your insurance rates are going. Crank Windows, baby. Can we go back to Crank Windows? Like, is now not the time for someone to come out with that and just bring us back to analog?
You know, if my insurance company is tracking me, then why the hell do they keep raising my rates instead of lowering them? They know I'm not driving anywhere. I don't get it. I mean, listen, the cell phone you have, the smartwatch you're wearing, everything tracks you. Everyone tracks you. If you think you can be anonymous in today's world, think again. You're not anonymous. You won't be anonymous. And your data, is it data or data? Either way,
either or.
That information has value to others. You Google something, and the next thing you know, you have their ads tracking you wherever you go. How much money does Google make on that?
Yeah, no, I mean that they make gajillions of dollars. That's the most basic level. So what do you make of, Dad, then? CDK, 15,000 dealerships rely on that software. If I'm a consumer and I ever bought a car before, I'm worried that now, because CDK got hacked, that my data could be caught up in that. Not only can they not write repair orders or sell cars, but there's the potential for these bad actors to get in there and access customer information. I mean, it's scary.
Well, you know, it's a cyber attack. Have they been hacked? I don't know. Have they gotten customer information? I'm assuming they can. Every dealership keeps all their customer data or data, on the DMS. Many dealerships are inoperable without those systems. You know, when I first started in the business, we didn't have a computer that would spit out your bank contract. Somebody with legible handwriting or printing had to write them up. I was that guy. I had to write them up. So today, with CDK down at 15,000 dealerships, if somebody wanted to finance a vehicle, they couldn't. Okay, because the finance manager wouldn't know how to figure out what all the finance charges are because, well, the DMS system's down, so it can't do it for them. These dealerships are stuck. Many dealerships have no idea how to manually produce a service repair order or a parts ticket. So if you consider that the benchmark in the industry is for service to cover 70% of all your monthly expenses, and your service department is shut down for a day or two or 3 or 4, that impacts everything within a dealership.
Yeah. So you have the car is tracking you. You have obviously the dealers are tracking you. They use third party. The dealers got the dealers third party, in this case CDK got CDK, excuse me, has a cyber attack. That you even have had in recent years employees at dealerships actually go after be on the receiving end of lawsuits around data not being handled appropriately. And so it's a little eye-opening when you really start to peel the onion back and you see how much of your information is in the hands of all these different actors, and how, quite frankly, they just want to make money off of it. Like, that's their end game here, is to make money off of it.
What's really scary is in dealerships, you provide dealerships with many types of identification, copies of driver's license, copies of insurance cards. You fill out a credit application. All that stuff is supposed to be under lock and key. I don't know, except when the salesperson leaves it on his desk and walks to go get a cup of coffee or goes over to the bathroom, and it's just sitting there for anybody to see. And then that information is shared with the F&I manager, and he or she's supposed to keep their office locked. And they don't half the time. Deals are scattered across their desk. And so it's easy for bad actors within a dealership to steal customer information and start applying for loans under that person's name. It is astounding to me as to how readily accessible private customer information is within the confines of a dealership, and how many people touch it. The title clerk, the accounting staff, the F&I people, the salespeople.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Sales managers. There isn't anybody within the confines of a dealership, other than maybe a technician or two, that doesn't have access to your personal information. And let's face it, computers are great until they get hacked, until there's an attack. And then all of a sudden, well, they're not so great. And it's not like we didn't know this stuff wasn't coming.
Yeah, definitely. Dad, I want to take a moment, and I actually want to give an introduction to today's sponsor, which is Delete Me. As we've been talking about here, the issue at hand is very clear. There are data brokers out there that are selling our data to anyone and everyone and anyone who wants to get their hands on it. Things like phone numbers, social security numbers, your address, all of those things are sold online. Obviously, that's where we started today's show, is all these automakers are collecting that information, not to mention the cameras inside the car tracking your eyeballs. And I mean, the whole thing is very, very, very dystopian in a lot of ways. This information gets sold to marketers, scammers on the dark web, the whole 9 yards. Delete Me, Dad. Proud to work with Delete Me. It's our second or third month working with Delete Me. I have my information in Delete Me, and they have taken off from 140 different data brokers my information, analyzed over 6,600 listings that had my information, and are working on getting 102 more data brokers to remove my information. Pops, Delete Me has helped me immensely. They've removed my personal information from all of those various data brokers. CarEdge community members can get 20% off with our coupon. Just go to joindeleteme.com/CarEdge. Joindeleteme.com/CarEdge. We still got to get Pops on Delete Me. Maybe your insurance would go down if you use Delete Me, Dad.
The most important thing is, can it help grow my hair back?
Can't grow your
It,
hair. I'm having a
but
good hair day though.
it can prevent my data from being out there, but it can help me with hair growth. I don't know. I have no future for hair growth, apparently.
I think, unfortunately, your hair is your hair. Dad, let's switch gears and we'll touch on another story. U.S. factory incentives drive big gains in April EV registrations, despite Tesla's 17% plunge in sales. Legacy automakers and startup Rivian led the gains, while EV market leader Tesla saw another drop-off compared with last year's numbers. We are seeing an increase, a non-trivial increase in manufacturer incentives across the board, but we're seeing that especially when it comes to electric vehicles. They're not selling, they're struggling to sell. And that means the OEM's putting a lot of money behind them to get them to move. You're muted, Pops, but that's okay. We'll stand by. What do we think he's saying? Any guesses? Guesses, folks. We'll take guesses in the chat. Dad, if you go to settings, you can change your audio input. You should be okay. Oh.
Time to get me a new computer.
You think it's your computer?
Huh? Well,
we can hear you.
Else would it be?
You there?
Yeah, I'm here. Are you there?
I'm here. We can hear you. It's okay.
Yeah, well, it doesn't want to believe that the Scarlett microphone's available. Here it goes. God.
You don't have to change anything, Dad. We can hear you. You can stop. You if you go back to where you were, we can hear you, and just let's accept that. Is that okay?
Yeah, buddy.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm great. I'm aggravated and I'm annoyed. It's technology.
Do you want to talk about it?
They're stealing my data, okay, and not letting my damn microphone work. Okay, computers are great until they're not.
I want your take. Your take on the fact that we've seen automakers materially increase incentives on electric vehicles. They're not selling. We've seen huge increases in incentives to get them sold. This is just supply and demand at its core, isn't it?
Well, it is, but the subheadline in that story was, Tesla's sales plunged 17% and their market share plunged. Well, what do you expect? I mean, they were like the player, okay, and then all of a sudden there's like now 9 gazillion EVs out there from every manufacturer under the sun, and every manufacturer under the sun is pushing these really strong lease incentives with huge discounts in order to get people. Well, where do you think the market share is going to come from? It's got to come from Tesla. And everybody says I bash Tesla and I bash EVs, but I think this is so disingenuous on Automotive News's part to make the subheadline that it's all about Tesla losing market share. Of course, they're going to lose market share. When you were basically the only thing in the market, and then everybody else. Every sale is an incremental sale that you've lost.
Definitely. And all the automakers that have plowed tons of money into EVs that are now not selling. I mean, that's actually let's do our favorite thing here on the Ray and Zach channel. Let's do our favorite thing. Let's do a live experiment, Dad. I'm going to the car search.
Okay.
Do. What do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to go down to engine and drivetrain. I'm going to choose electric.
Yeah.
There are currently 212,000 electric vehicles for sale nationwide. I'm going to just choose new ones. 177,000 new ones for sale nationwide, and we'll pick on our favorite automaker, Ford.
May I ask you one quick question?
Sure, Dad.
We don't track Tesla inventory, so that 212,000 could be 300,000 for all we know.
We track used Tesla inventory, yeah, but we not new Tesla inventory. Yeah, so we're missing new Tesla inventory. But look at this, Dad. What is the market days supply for a 2024 Ford F-150 Lightning Flash 4-wheel drive? It's 1,890 days in Toms River, New Jersey, because there's 168 of this truck for sale, but only 4 have sold in the last 45 days. So no wonder, coming back here, no wonder incentives are spiking for EVs. That's what these automakers are sitting on right now is, an 1,890 days supply of these vehicles out there that no one wants to buy.
And the only way to move them, and the article talks about it, is with huge incentives. Something we've been saying for months. People will buy anything if you make it cheap enough. I mean, people knew Fisker was going to go out of business, but when Fisker dropped their price by like $25,000, even though the people that were buying them knew that Fisker was going to go out of business, people said, well, at this price, it's too good of a deal to pass up. Really? Perhaps not, but it always comes down to price. We had that conversation about when your mother and I first moved to Arizona, and we moved there because, I was a golf fanatic at one time, and I wanted to open a golf pro shop.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the best sales day, sales dollar volume wise, I ever had was on the first day of my going out of business sale, proving that if you drop the price low enough, people will come in and buy the crap. And the same holds true for anything, especially cars. If they are overpriced to begin with, and as we know, most of them are, so the only way you're going to relieve yourself of that inventory is to reduce the price dramatically. Something Stellantis has to figure out. That 10% off or 15% off is not dramatic enough. But you can sell anything as long as you sell it cheap enough.
So let's look at this, Dad. Obviously, the top-selling electric vehicles are Teslas, but then the third best-selling EV in April that had its registrations go up 287% year over year is the Mustang Mach-E. So let's do it. Let's see what's going on in Mustang Mach-E land. Let's see. Drum roll, please, folks. 908 days supply. So for a 2024 Ford Mustang Mach-E Premium all-wheel drive in Toms River, New Jersey, within 100 miles of that, there are 464 of this year, make, model, and trim for sale. Yet only 23 have sold in the last 45 days. What does that mean? That means, and we've got an example here in our community chat from Cycle Guy, I bought a 2023 Ford F-150 Lightning XLT with $64,000 out the door. Got them down to $52,000 out the door and 0% interest. 12 grand off in negotiating and 0% financing. That's why you're seeing an increase in Ford Mustang Mach-E registrations. That's why you're seeing an increase in Toyota BZ4X registrations, Hyundai Ioniq 5 registrations. It's because you're getting 12 grand off plus 0% financing in some cases.
It's there's no secret to this. There just isn't. You priced it too high to begin with. And in order to get somebody to buy it, you have to reduce the price significantly. And that's what we're finally seeing. Now, are we seeing it across the board on all fuel and engine types? No. Are we seeing it across the board on all brands? No. But I will say that all brands are more negotiable price-wise today than they have been for the past 2 or 3 years, including Toyota, including Honda. Their inventories have gone up. Now, many Toyota dealers are still asking for market adjustments. Doesn't really mean they expect to get it. They hope to get it, but they don't necessarily expect to get it anymore. And they ask because you can't get what you don't ask for. So, they're not foolish. They know it makes sense to at least ask. As a consumer, you can ask that, I would need, if you want me to buy your car, I would need a bigger discount to do that. And if you negotiate in person, oftentimes you can get that discount. Should you have to go in? Okay, tell me.
No, go for it.
No, you're waving your hand at me. Come on, go.
I think you're giving advice that is a slippery slope. I don't think you need to go into a dealership to negotiate the best deal. But anyway, we can debate that some other time.
But I was trying to finish it with, and you shouldn't have to. You should be able to get that information via phone or email. But most dealerships don't want to provide that information to you over phone or email. Most dealerships still believe that the customer's presence is the customer's best leverage. We need to change that way of thinking for dealerships.
Let's give a shout out to one of our community members here, Justin. I bought at the end of May, a new Charger, 2023 new Charger Scat Pack, $58,000 MSRP, got the out the door price to $30,000.
Wow.
Okay, so this is what's going on in the market is you are seeing absurd price reductions as a result of trying to liquidate inventory. We've got from Michael here. Thank you, Michael, for the kind contribution. After spending the last 2 weeks looking for a new car at a dealership, I've decided to buy a Tesla. I can't in good conscience support the dealer model. There you go. That's exactly what you were just describing, Pops. Stay tuned. Our Saturday video over on the main CarEdge channel, a lot of what my dad's talking about. We have some live footage of that happening in practice and why people like Michael and others choose not to go to a car dealer. It's because it's impossible to get pricing. It's a real pain in the butt. Obviously, this is what we do back at CarEdge.com. We do that for people, but it's absurd.
It is still not customer friendly or customer centric in many cases. The vast majority of dealerships still choose to do it the wrong way, and
yeah, 100%.
And from our business perspective, that's a great thing for us. But what ultimately we would like to have happen is that we can drag dealers kicking and screaming into the 21st century and ultimately put ourselves out of business. But we recognize the fact that that'll probably take a lifetime or more for that to happen, so that we can stay in business for a very, very, very long time.
Nick says, did you touch on the CDK cyber attack that's taken 15,000 dealers offline? They cannot operate service and sales. Yeah, we started today's show talking about data and how there's data being tracked about you everywhere, both in your car and from the dealership. And then we turned our attention towards the fact that, yes, there's a massive cyber attack underway that has pretty much brought dealerships, 15,000 dealerships, to a standstill. So good luck trying to buy a car today if that dealership uses this software. And who knows what's going on with your data? Who knows?
Well, and I know for a fact, I got a text from one of our dear friends yesterday, Glenn Bob, and he says, we're just sitting around. We can't do anything. Systems, dealerships have become so dependent on computerization that if you said to them, well, work the lease on a calculator, most salespeople or sales managers wouldn't know how to do that. That's how computer dependent they are at dealerships. It is this Finley Dealer Group in the Vegas area had a cyber attack last week. They have, I don't know how many dealerships, 10, 12, something like that, and they were basically put out of business for close to a week. I get accused of, well, Ray, you play both sides. I don't. I feel bad for dealers and dealerships when there's issues like this. I feel worse for customers when dealers pull the crap that they pull on customers. And I would love to change how that all happens so that it could be a better experience for everybody involved.
We've got here from Mookie. All brands are more negotiable than Ray's microphone too soon. For those of you joining us late, we had a nice little, aggravating moment. Can't wait to get in the show and play tech support. The Excited for that. Pops, we've got from Justin as well. Can you help me, please? Are you going to have a 4th of July deal for car warranties? We have a CarEdge extended warranty or vehicle service contract back at caredge.com. Flat markup. You can get a quote without any personal information. I had to cancel my warranty. Your staff was great. Looking to get a new one. I don't know if we're going to have anything for July 4th, but I can put in a good word and see what we can do. And Justin, you can always email me directly, Zach, Z-A-C-H, at caredge.com, and I can hook you up with a promo code. I know the guy who's in charge of that. We will figure that out. Dad, why don't we call it a show a moment early? Because you don't have a mic. You're aggravated. You're flustered. I'll help you out with that. We'll call it a show early. We'll make sure we're in good place for tomorrow's show. How's that sound?
Yeah, I'd like that. So,
all right, folks. Then we'll be back tomorrow.
Basically, if I heard you correctly, you've had enough of me for one day.
We'll be back tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 p.m. Eastern time. Please support our sponsor. It's the link at the top of the description. Delete me, Dad. Let's end the show, and I'll help you troubleshoot, and we'll try and figure this out. Okay.
Yep, I appreciate it.
All right. Much love. Thank you, everyone, for being here.
We'll see you all back here tomorrow.